you've been scrolling through your phone for 20 minutes without absorbing a single thing. The hobby you used to love sits untouched in the corner. Your inbox is full of messages you can't bring yourself to answer. Nothing feels urgent anymore. Nothing feels like it matters. And the strangest part, you're not even sure when this shift happened. Most people would tell you this is depression. They suggest therapy, medication, maybe a vacation. But what if this emptiness isn't a mental health crisis? What if it's actually your consciousness preparing for an upgrade? It can no longer postpone. There's a specific kind of detachment happening to certain people right now. It's not about being sad or hopeless. It's about standing in your life and feeling like you're watching it through glass. Everything seems muted, distant, as if someone turned down the volume on your entire existence. The projects that used to excite you feel hollow. The relationships that used to energize you feel performative. Even your own thoughts seem like they're coming from someone else's mind. This isn't random. Your system is intelligently withdrawing investment from what no longer matches your evolving frequency. Think of it like this. A caterpillar doesn't gradually become a butterfly. There's a stage where it literally dissolves into liquid inside the cocoon. Its entire structure breaks down before reorganizing into something completely different. Right now, you're in that liquid phase. Nothing feels solid because nothing is supposed to feel solid yet. The real problem isn't the emptiness itself. It's that we've been conditioned to pathologize every uncomfortable feeling. We live in a culture that demands constant enthusiasm, perpetual productivity, uninterrupted positivity. So when this natural dissolution begins, we panic. We try to resurrect passion for things that no longer align with who we're becoming. We force ourselves to care about goals that were set by an earlier version of ourselves. We exhaust ourselves trying to maintain connections that now drain us completely. But here's what nobody tells you. The exhaustion you're feeling isn't from being broken. It's from trying to animate a life that no longer fits your energy signature. You're running high-definition software on outdated hardware. Everything feels slow and glitchy because there's a fundamental mismatch between your expanding awareness and your current circumstances. I've watched this pattern play out hundreds of times. Someone will describe feeling completely disconnected from everything they used to value. They'll talk about how their friend group suddenly feels superficial, how their career goals seem meaningless, how even their favorite activities feel like obligations. And they'll ask the same question, what's wrong with me? The answer, absolutely nothing. You're not losing your mind. You're losing your tolerance for anything that isn't deeply authentic. Your old motivations are falling away because they were built on foundations you've outgrown. The person who wanted those things, who got excited about those pursuits, who found meaning in those relationships, they were operating from a completely different level of understanding. You haven't lost that person. You've expanded beyond them. This is why the usual advice doesn't help. People tell you to try harder, push through, find your passion again. But passion can't be manufactured. It emerges naturally when you're aligned with something real. Trying to force enthusiasm for misaligned things is like trying to enjoy food when you're not hungry. The food isn't bad, your system just doesn't need it right now. Consider how your taste in music has evolved over the years. The songs that devastated you at 15 might sound simplistic now, not because there's anything wrong with them, but because your emotional range has expanded. You haven't lost the ability to appreciate music. You've simply outgrown certain frequencies. Your current situation is similar, except instead of just your musical taste evolving, your entire approach to existence is being recalibrated. The disorientation you're experiencing comes from losing your usual reference points. For most of your life, you've navigated by certain stars: achievement, approval, accumulation, comfort. These markers told you whether you were on track or falling behind. But now those stars have dimmed, not because they're invalid for everyone, but because they're no longer relevant for your particular journey. You're being forced to develop a completely different navigation system. This explains why well-meaning advice from others falls flat. They're still using the old maps, the old coordinates. They see your withdrawal from familiar pursuits as concerning. They interpret your changing priorities as confusion. They want to help you get back on track, not realizing that the track itself has shifted beneath your feet. What's actually happening is this. Your inner system has initiated a complete recalibration. It's withdrawing energy from external pursuits and redirecting it inward. This isn't depression or apathy, it's conservation. Your consciousness is gathering resources for something that requires your full attention. But here's where it gets tricky. This phase doesn't come with an instruction manual or a clear timeline. You don't know how long it will last. You don't know what you're being prepared for. All you know is that nothing feels right anymore, and that uncertainty is terrifying. So what do you actually do when everything that used to matter stops mattering? How do you function when your entire motivational structure has collapsed? First, you stop fighting it. The exhaustion you're feeling isn't from the emptiness itself, it's from resisting the emptiness, from trying to resuscitate interests that have naturally died, from forcing yourself to care about things that no longer register as important. When you stop the resistance, something unexpected happens. The panic subsides, not because your situation has changed, but because you've stopped treating it like an emergency. Second, you create structure without attachment. Your days still need form, but that form doesn't need to be built around passion or purpose. You eat, you move, you rest, you engage with basic responsibilities. Not because these things excite you, but because maintaining your baseline functioning creates stability, while everything else recalibrates. Think of it as keeping the lights on in an empty building. The building isn't abandoned, it's just between tenants. Third, you become curious about the emptiness rather than afraid of it. What if this void isn't absence, but presence? What if it's not that nothing matters, but that you're finally quiet enough to discern what actually does? When the noise of forced enthusiasm dies down, a different kind of signal can come through. It's quieter, subtler, but infinitely more reliable than anything you followed before. This is where most people stumble. They're so conditioned to loud, obvious desire that they mistake the whisper of authentic calling for nothing at all. They're listening for trumpets when what's coming sounds more like wind through grass, barely perceptible, but undeniably present. Start paying attention to what pulls you, even slightly, even inexplicably. Maybe you find yourself lingering on certain ideas. Maybe you notice your energy shifts subtly around particular topics or environments. Maybe you feel drawn to activities that make no logical sense, given your previous trajectory. These aren't random impulses. They're early signals from your emerging self. But here's the crucial part. Don't immediately turn these pulls into plans. Don't take a slight interest in photography and immediately enroll in a certification program. Don't feel drawn to nature and immediately plan to move to the mountains. The old you operated that way, converting every impulse into agenda. The new you is learning a different approach, following curiosity without demanding it justify itself or lead somewhere productive. This phase is teaching you to value the quality of your engagement rather than the outcome of your actions. It's showing you the difference between doing things to become someone and doing things because they resonate with who you already are. That distinction might sound subtle, but it changes everything. You'll know you're moving through this transition rather than stuck in it when you notice certain shifts. The emptiness starts feeling less like deprivation and more like spaciousness. Time alone stops being something you endure and becomes something you need. The opinions of others, which once held tremendous weight, begin to feel less relevant. Not because you've become arrogant, but because you're developing an internal reference point that's more trustworthy than external validation. Your tolerance for superficiality will approach zero. Small talk will feel physically uncomfortable. Performative relationships will become impossible to maintain. This isn't antisocial behavior. It's your system protecting its energy while something essential takes shape. You're not withdrawing from connection. You're withdrawing from connection that costs more than it provides. The people meant to walk this next part of the journey with you will recognize what's happening. They won't pressure you to explain yourself or rush the process. They'll give you space while remaining steady. Everyone else will fade, and you'll feel relief rather than loss when they do. There's no way to speed this up. You can't think your way through it or goal set your way out of it. The only way through is to stop treating it like a problem, requiring a solution. It's not a problem, it's a threshold, and thresholds demand patience. One morning, probably when you're not looking for it, something will catch your attention differently. Not with the frantic urgency of your old enthusiasms, but with the quiet rightness. You won't be able to explain why it matters. You won't have a plan for where it leads, but you'll feel the first stirrings of authentic engagement, and you'll recognize it as fundamentally different from anything that came before. That's when you'll understand what this emptiness was for. It wasn't destroying you, it was preparing you, not for a different life, but for your actual life, the one that was always waiting beneath the layers of should and supposed to, the one that requires your real self, not the performance you've been maintaining. So if you're in that strange space right now, where nothing feels right and everything feels uncertain, you're exactly where you need to be. The emptiness isn't permanent, but what emerges from it will be. Trust that. The version of you that's dissolving needed to dissolve. What's coming can't fit into the container you've been living in. This emptiness isn't the end of your story. It's the blank page before the next chapter writes itself. Stop waiting for permission to trust what you already know is happening.